Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one from Best of Redditor Updates is titled, My Little Brother, 3 Male, is Actually My Fiance, 25 Male Kid, plus updates. Yes, the title is up, I'm aware. My fiance, 25 male, and myself, 24 female, have been together since we were 17 and 18 years old. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect, so this makes everything just so shocking for me. I've always had a good relationship with my mom. It has always been her and I against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always joke that we are the real life Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mom dated guys on and off, and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early stages. Around 4 years ago, my mom told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mom is around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, I didn't meet the guy, but knew she went on dates, it was still a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young and oopsie, and I could tell that she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, since she has always supported me, and tried to reassure her. Since then, had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I have helped take care of him since he was born and just loved the little guy. My fiance was always so helpful with my brother, would take him out for ice cream, playground, pool time during summer, etc., but nothing was weird. He was just my then boyfriend spending time with my brother and I. Shit's about to get weird. Now to the how I found out. My fiance and I lived together since we finished college. My fiance was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was home because I didn't feel like going out and just wanted to chill on my sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died and I was too lazy to go get my charger, so I just took my fiance's iPad. I know the password, but honestly, I've never used it before. The iPad logged in and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hasn't used it in a while too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out. And of course, I found everything. My mom's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty, but couldn't lose me, and they f***ed it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never not know his dad, and that if he could live having his son around and not behaving like a dad, but a brother-in-law. I broke down. What the actual F? You imagine logging into an iPad and finding out that your little brother is your boyfriend's kid with your mom? You imagine just discovering this on an iPad? There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seems like ages, and I waited for my boyfriend to come back home. I wish I was one of those women that could pretend and get things done and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night around 23:30, and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened and saw his face go completely pale. I asked for an explanation. When? How? Why? And he didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently a few years back, while I was traveling with some friends, a girls' trip, my fiance and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of my family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiance would eat together at our place, even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another and they ended up sleeping together. That's not how dinner works. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough because they slept together 2 to 3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Listen, hey, tomorrow around 7 o'clock, we need to meet to discuss how to tell my fiance that I've been banging her mom. By the way, this is code for we're going to bang again. Apparently, when my mom got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided to not tell me since my fiance loved me and couldn't lose me. And my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So here we are now with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement off, told my mom to never talk to me again, and moved in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really do love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old. So I want to puke every time I think how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else while still having those dreams. I want to puke. Editor's note, comments were mostly supportive with a few telling their own stories of cutting off parents and a couple with tales of spouses sleeping with parents. How is this even a thing? People be crazy. There's an update, but what the what the This girl is like, you know what, Ma, I understand you're scared about being pregnant, but I got you. I'm going to be here to help. I'm going to be so super involved with everything. And Mom's like, that sounds great. Okay, for this to happen in the first place, like, come on, mom and boyfriend. Yeah, obviously you're ASCON ones. Like, that's not how dinner works. You can have dinner without sleeping with the person you're having dinner with. It is possible, especially if you're dining with your partner's parents. What are they eating for dinner? Like pure garlic or some shit? I don't know. What's an aphrodisiac? Like, I don't understand. What are they having for dinner that is forcing them to just have no control? That's not dessert. Not when you're dining with your partner's parents. I'd be questioning every other dinner that he went to without you. Who else has he gone to dinner with? And how often is he eating dinner? The fact that it happened multiple times, this was not a like something was in the food that made them lose their minds, because it happened like 4 times total. There is no excuse for any of this. Like, it's done. It's over. The real losers in this are OP and her little brother, who obviously didn't choose any of this and now is losing a very loving sister, but maybe gaining a dad. All right, here's the update. July 4th, 2024, 4 days later. First, I want to thank everybody for the nice messages and comments. Apparently the comments weren't like ours. I was not expecting so much support. I'm still a mess, not gonna lie, but after reading the comments, I felt better, like a therapy mini session. So again, thank you all. To the update, as I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this weekend. I knew this was coming, but thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it. And instead of having the hanging above my head waiting to be approached again, he asked if we could talk, and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I just told him to talk right there. We were in the streets, but somehow it wasn't crowded, but also not completely lonely. Felt right. He basically said sorry 100 times and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone or together or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him that wasn't possible. There was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment things came out with much louder tone and harsher words. Anyway, he did say that he is in the process, or will be, it was a bit of a blur, of getting custody partly of my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad with him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom and that it was a stupid mistake. Sure, because making a mistake 45 times is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before. He said no, not sure to believe it, but he sounded honest. How does someone sound honest? I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed, he always felt panicked, and it hit him that he could lose me, and he just didn't want to. I told him that if it was to be found out, what was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore their relationship forever? He said he didn't think far enough ahead, and that he was basically going with the idea one day at a time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom had seduced him. He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has had any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother, didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before or the day before that, not sure, Monday or Tuesday, about everything. The parents were not happy, but they are glad to start building a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contact me, but he told them to wait until he approached me first, hence why he was here. I said if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no, but when I found out, it was like the push he needed. Great, seems like I helped him get his shit together. Ugh. And then this past week, he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated, but the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he's still in an okay place, and he isn't paying for his actions beyond my leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents, and others move on with his life, while I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt trip me, and it worked, but I still think that I can't. I don't know much about my mom and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon because I'm fuming right now and I won't be able to handle it. I will be contacting my family and friends and finally doing the blasting today. I think it's about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push that I needed. Editor's note, top comment suggesting moving to Australia, can't fault that line of thinking. Update 2, my little brother 3 male is actually my fiance's 25 male kid, July 7th, 2024. 3 days from last post, seven days from the OG post. Okay, before we dive into that, so yes, he's deciding to step up and be a dad now, and I can see why that is so frustrating for OP because he's like gaining this whole new chapter in his life. But the fact that he's only doing it now should say quite a bit about life, about him as a person, right? It absolutely should. OP just lost everything. She really did, lost everything. Okay, here is the update. July 7th, 3 days from the last post, 7 days from the OG post. Hi again. I want to say thanks for all the support on my last update. Honestly, like I said in my previous post, it really helped me a lot emotionally with all your comments and also all the advice that I got, that being about moving abroad or what to say when I do the blast. Thank you. Here's the update. A lot has happened. I did the blasting, and this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's Facebook group that we share. This is from my mom's family side. I used inspiration of what you all suggested in my last post and said something around the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently canceled, since I found out that my mom and my ex had in the last few years a sexual relationship which resulted in the birth of my little brother. I had no clue of any of this, and I found out about all of it last week. I won't have a relationship moving forward with mom and ex for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding, and I felt it was only fair to let you know the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message till before the blasting. I didn't want to hear or read her and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive, and I could tell that they were just as shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. What? What is there to misunderstand, Aunt Judy? Are you sure you didn't this can't be right. She must have misunderstood. Yes. You're right. I misunderstood that my boyfriend is in fact the father of my little brother because he impregnated my mother. Judy, did I misunderstand something here? My grandparents were in the maybe you misunderstood category, which wasn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents. And like I said before, my mom was always a good mom, so no red flags until they start seeing the boyfriend show up at birthday parties and taking him out for daddy-son play dates. Like, they're going to figure it out eventually. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously because I knew once she knew everyone would. That's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered to live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid that this will give my mom an easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message for we share most of our friends since high school and local university friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This sort of went viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said he was crazy about you. Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided at the moment. Some are completely on my side and some are thinking that this isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me to ask their friend if he is asking for custody of my little brother. That kind of shut them up for now. My ex has apparently deleted his social media. Well, yeah. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guessed they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling they were also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they will be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother and don't want anything to do with her, but not sure how that will work with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what my ex is up to now, but I shut them down quickly and told them I don't want any info. I want to move on. I also asked them to not reach out in the near future, that I needed distance, especially if they will be supporting my ex. He is living with his parents at the moment. Also, my ex and my mother, after the blast, were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who she blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silent and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first, that I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said that in her long-ass text, the reason that she slept with my ex is because he reminded her of my dad, that it was grief, that she didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means. Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad or personality or what? I have seen photos of my dad, and well, yeah, my ex isn't super different, but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else. I don't know. That threw me for a loop and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell. From all the things she could say, I was not expecting that. I am holding on better. I don't cry every hour or want to unalive them. But I'm still sad and upset, and it just feels like this isn't my life. It's just a big joke or a bad dream, and I wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might ask for 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thoughts together and do some research. I'm terrified, to be honest. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. Comments to update. Commenter 1, that mom is hilarious. I thought I raised you better. I never in a million years thought you'd my boyfriend, but here we are. Commenter 2, my petty ass would be sending her that. Comment 3, right, the irony of her blaming you for airing laundry when she did that. Comment 4, the laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't my boyfriend on it. Ayo! Winning comment right there. Editor's notes marked as ongoing because I'm hoping for future updates. That's pretty good, mom and boyfriend. Come on, AskCon 1, OP for cutting everybody out of your life for good. I don't think there's any other way. I don't think there's any other way. Like, it sucks. It sucks to sever a relationship with your little brother, but your little brother is now symbolic of the 2 closest people in your life betraying you. There's no way around that. Obviously, you don't hold it against him, but he is a totem for this now. I don't think there's a way around it. The title of this one was My Little Brother is Actually My Fiance's Kid. Holy cow.